Good evening, my dear friends. Nice to see you. Sunday and our regular. So again, I see that something wrong with the camera. Will it work today properly? I hope. Okay, let's go with it as it goes, as it flows. So today we are continuing our talk about the opportunity which are not vivid, which are hidden in our own nature. Everyone who joins us, say hello for me to see that you are here. I see how many of you are here, but I would like you to greet me and all the other participants, because here we communicate. You don't just listen to the lecture, but also you participate in it. And I'm glad to see every person, because with each meeting, I hope that we together, you and me, become step by step a bit wiser, a bit more clever, and we learn things, certainly. I put on the special t-shirt corresponding to the topic, because here you see the shade or the face, which is hidden, which is half hidden here, as the shade can be hidden from us or can substitute sometimes our face. So this is the topic of our today's discussion. And this topic is not for cowards. This topic is for brave people, courageous people, because not everything you will hear today you will like. There will be some things which are a bit shocking. There will be some things which can be, Olga, hello, good evening. You are the first who is writing. There are more people, but you are the first. Anastasia, hello. Very glad, very nice to see you. So, brave people. Today's stream is only for brave ones. Anastasia, are you brave? Are you a brave person? Tell me. So each of you who want to live like that, I will show you for a second. Yeah. If you want to live like that, then you shouldn't know anything about your shadow. Oh, Nastya, I like your reply. Great, always. Hands up, yeah. So if we don't, yeah, it's a beautiful picture, but if we don't want to live like that, at least when we don't do it voluntarily, so we should get acquainted with our mysterious, fantastic, dangerous, unpredictable, absolutely unfathomable shadow, and to understand what this shadow means. And hello, team, nice to see you. And to digest this new flow of information, because today probably I will destroy some of your conceptions. And it's not my intention, by the way. Good evening, Helen. But I know how important to do it, how important it is to be brave and to be honest with yourself. Because honesty starts with telling the truth to yourself. It's an ideal picture to tell the truth always to everyone. Maybe this is kind of idealistic world which we can dream about. Unfortunately, we still play social games, and sometimes to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, it's a bit stupid, because there are even psychological situations that truth can kill the person. The person can be not ready for that, and we should spare him or her and keep this truth to ourselves. But The only person to whom we should always say the truth and nothing but the truth is our own self. And today we will try to learn how to do it. I have a question for you, my dear friends. What do you think if you always told the truth to yourself? Tell me how you think, what you think about that. Were you always honest with yourself? And why such a question? Why should we lie to ourselves? Isn't it stupid? And what makes us lie sometimes? Helen thinks so. Okay, team, Nastya, Olga, what do you think of that? If you told always the truth, nothing but the truth to yourself. You're shy probably to say it. Helen, I believe you that you tried to tell the truth, but again, one more discouraging probably fact, but believe me, you will be filled with positive emotions as well by the end of our talk. But the news is that none of you, and even me, I say even just because I got through some trainings and I have some firm basic knowledge, but even me, who was quite, team is honest, yeah, open like, we all, unfortunately, this is our problem, and in this problem, it can be a tragedy about which we're going to talk, and we will do our best today to know and to learn how to avoid this tragedy by becoming exactly from today, exactly from this hour, from this stream. Try to be honest, always honest with yourself. Because if you start accepting yourself, all parts of yourself, there will be no need to lie. Because when we think that we are good, by the way, do you think that you are good, my friends? I know that all of you whom I know and those who are present, all of you I know personally, you're good people. Because I wouldn't stay in touch for a long time with you if you were not, because I have a choice. You see? But I am so glad to see each of you here, and not only here, on the business purpose, on the private purpose. And I respect each of you, and I know that you are really good people. But my question is, are you good? What do you think of that? Yes, I sound a bit provocative, but I do it on purpose. It's interesting for me to know how you estimate yourself. Because last time we dwelt a lot on this topic, how important is to feel good. You think, Tim, that you're good, but you often think that you can be better. Okay, good answer. Any other opinion? Okay, I will ask you one more provocative question. Does anyone think that he or she is a saint person? For me, I'm in good health. Right. Okay. Yeah, not when telling lies to myself. Yes, Nastya. And it's good that you understand that. Okay, I will tell you, not being your judge, and I'm not your psychologist, to tell you in the private session some truths which you should know. That is why I will generalize it. So as long as we think that we are good, we don't know anything about ourselves. We are blind. We're just blind sheep. Why? What kind of statement am I making? If you were attentive during our two previous lectures, conversations, you could answer this question. Why such a statement? I refer it to me as well. I don't divide us right now that you don't know yourself and I know myself. I can say only that everyone who says that I am good, not I'm good at this or I'm good at that, but I'm good. I'm a good person. It means it can be honestly said, it can be fairly said, but it means that the person is absolutely ignorant about his own nature. Where does it go? Where I'm driving at? To which idea? Yeah, there are more and more of you. Please, everyone who is here, write something. Don't be ashamed. Just write at least good evening. Even if you're not fluent speaker, it's not a problem. We're here. I wanted to say we're here to make mistakes. Not certainly. We are not with this purpose, but you can write with mistakes because it's not a TOEFL exam or IELTS exam. It's not something which will test your English. Just be with us and it will be perfect. Yes, Nastya, you are right. We all have our dark side, but not to sound so religious, because we are not talking about religion here. We talk about science, we talk about philosophy and psychology. How could we understand more scientifically this dark side? Let's take it as axiom. If you do not agree to it, it's up to you. But let's build up our conversation in the framework that we accept that we are a compromise of the white side or light side and the dark side. And now we will try to give some definition to it for it to sound more realistic, not mystical and not religious. What kind of dark side? Yes, all religions tell us about that we are all sinners, that we should redeem our sins, that we should sacrifice something. But we are not now in this framework. And to tell you the truth, I don't support it literally, only philosophically. But why do all religions say that? Why do we know about ourselves that there is something unknown in us which is more dark than light? And why is it dark? What is dark as association? Dark. How do you understand the word dark as a symbol? What is dark for you? Write me the synonyms, the words which are associated in your mind with the word dark. What can be dark? Dark night, for example. What else? Okay, maybe bad. Any other associations? Yeah, when we say he's a dark person, probably we mean that he's a bad person. What else can we mean? Unknown. Yes, Anastasia. Bravo. Unknown. So very often, something that is dark is simply something that we don't know. Yeah, hidden. Yes, Marina, hidden. Not necessarily thoughts, but more impulses than thoughts. So that is why this part of us, it's not necessarily bad. It's simply dangerous because it is unknown. If we look at it from this perspective, maybe you will be more eager to accept the idea of that part of us, part of our consciousness, part of our mind, part of our brain, and even body is unknown to us. Medical people have been working on the investigations of these or those medicines and their interaction with the body for centuries. And still there are many things, and these recent events have shown us that there is no precise answer. So secret, yes, also a good association tip. Yeah, secret, something which is a secret for us. So, what do we prefer, to live in predicted, structured world, or to go into unknown? It's a simple question. Certainly, it's easier and more comfortable, and we have talked about that. For us, we feel calmer. We do not worry too much if we go on the known road, on the known way. If we take the same car, if we cover the same route, if we make the same trip, it's quite predictable. When we go to unknown territory, we have different feelings. What feelings are those when we start our trip to the unknown? Yeah. Yeah, Helen, it's preferable for you unknown. Did you mean that, or you just answered the previous question? So, what associations? I asked for many associations because Carl Jung, on which conception I'm basing today's information and discussion, he was a great traveler to the unknown, and he loved associations, fear, uncertainty, something frightening, anything else. Only those feelings. So you named the basic negative feelings, and you are absolutely right. So first of all, fear. Secondly, uncertainty. Fear or something frightening, it's the same. Any other feelings? Why does typically the beginning of a new story, of a new love story, why do we feel so excited about that? What is it in this novelty? Remember when you were teenagers, when you were very young, when you, for the first time, you fell in love, it was unknown. What feelings did you have? Yeah, interesting to check. Yeah, so typically it's kind of attractiveness in it, in this unknown. Some mystery calls us because we know that there will be something that we don't know, at least we suppose so. Sometimes we get disappointed because we see the same story, but typically something, or when we have something new, it can be activity, it can be a story. In the beginning, we are especially excited just because it's absolutely new. So we can say that this unknown can bring to us these negative feelings as fear, uncertainty, but also it can bring extra excitement, which means extra creativity, some a bit unknown for us state of consciousness, state of mind. Tell me, have you ever got drunk? Tell me the truth. Or have you ever smoked not cigarettes, but something else? Have you ever tried that? Just remember, I'm not your mother here. I'm not going to punish you for anything. Nobody got drunk for the whole life. Okay, interesting. Marina writes certainly yes and yes. Okay, yeah, yes, Nastya. It happened to each young person, I think, because this is also unknown. Do you remember your first time? Maybe it was the only one. Why did you drink it? Or why did you do it? Probably the people who were drunk were not so attractive for you, but why did you want to try it? This sensation of being drunk or being a bit stoned in English, you know, this is the word stoned for smoking different stuff. Okay. Yes, Marina, and it's great because I cannot imagine a person who missed this experience. Certainly, it's dangerous. It can be some genetic predisposition, so we should be careful. But with drinking, it's not so dangerous. One time, curiosity, interest, certainly. Try to remember when you were, I don't know at which age it happened. I was probably 16 or 17 when I did it, just because I was extremely curious. I wanted to understand how the substance, very unpleasant to me, by the way, how this substance could make a person to behave like a clown, or I don't know, like a pig or somebody else. And it was curiosity. What can make a person be so different? So this juvenile attraction to unknown is vivid. Certainly, I'm not talking here about, guys, let's get drunk or let's try something else. Yes, you wanted to feel something new, absolutely new feelings. So, and certainly we did it just because we saw that the people who were older or maybe of our age, they tried to do something like that, and we wanted to try. We all wanted to be in this state. So, coming a bit ahead, just jumping ahead, I will tell you that when we are drunk or stoned, we are completely inside our shadow. Now you cannot understand it completely because we haven't discussed it yet. We are on our way. But just for you to remember that this territory of unknown, we get there, let's say, involuntary, without knowing it. It's just one of the methods, but it's a bad method, because this is the method which paralyzes us, and we can get into some bad stories, into some mess, or we can damage our health. So that is why it is certainly not recommended. at least to investigate your shadow in this way. Now we will talk about healthy methods of this investigation. So that is why this shadow, this part of us, dark part of us, dark. There is darkness and there is a danger, and there are so many sides which can shock us. We can come back a bit crippled with the idea that we can be so bad that it can traumatize us if we are not ready. But anything, any obstacle, anything that is taken voluntary can be in this or that way controlled. So this is the difference, because if we go there through states of meditation, it's, by the way, not a very healthy way too, because you don't know what to do on the way. Why meditations shouldn't be, I mean, meditations, yeah, not just thinking, relaxing, it's okay, but deep meditations, which are practiced in India by some yogas. So they shouldn't be done here in the cities and megapolises. It's extremely dangerous. It's more dangerous than alcohol or any other stuff. So it's also the way there to the unknown, and also it's not voluntary, it's involuntary, and you don't know what to do there. So yes, absolutely. Tim, you are absolutely right. This is a bad way to know our dark side, because we can remain there forever. And it happens with drug addicts and with alcoholics. Unfortunately, they become possessed. They become possessed by the shadow. But if we speak about or speak with drug addicts, I mean serious drug addicts. I worked in the clinics as a translator in the rehabilitation clinics, and I was so curious. I didn't know then that I would become a psychologist, but already some features went out, were brought out from me, and I always interviewed those people who were there on rehabilitation, because I have never tried strong drugs myself, and it's good that I haven't during my teenage period. So, and I was the same curious. What was so fantastic in that world that those people were ready to lose their life, to stop living just to get this sensation? Do you have an idea what they answered me? I'm talking about strong drugs addicts. During their rehabilitation period, when they felt more or less okay because they had supported medical care, so they didn't have this, it is called withdrawal, this effect of alcohol or strong drugs, when the person refuses to take them, makes a decision not to take them anymore, and it's a very devastating period, which is called withdrawal in English. So these people were out of this, at least physical withdrawal. They didn't have any physical pain anymore because they were under observation. Yeah, they were gloomy, they looked depressed, but they didn't have any pain. Can you suppose what they answered me? Meditation. Yes, Tim, and it's your good intuition. Be afraid. Okay, I don't like the form be afraid. Be careful. I would say be careful. Vorsicht. In German, they say be careful. Be careful with meditations. don't go there. If you could imagine, my dear friends, how many cases I know, because every day I study, I have cases from my practice and I study cases, because each psychologist has to do it to enlarge the file. How many cases we have of border case, of borderline cases? It means when the person was more or less psychologically healthy, but he turned into schizophrenic just because he went through meditations. It's something which shouldn't be taken as a joke. It's not a joke. We shouldn't play tricks with that. Yeah. New reality. Yes, Marina, new reality, quick way to learn some things and have a quick fun. Yes, fun, certainly. Fun is one thing. They experience new feelings and emotions. Yes, Marina. And it's not only that they were new, these emotions. Their answer was, when I asked my very persistent why, tell me why. You have gone through so much. It was so painful. You lost so much. And you tell me that the day you leave this center, medical center, the first thing you will do, you will look for this drug. Now you are in a healthy mind. Tell me why. Give me your reasons. And I got many answers which were in the same pattern. Most of them said, if you could experience what I had or what I did, you would understand me. And then I asked, tell me about that, because I'm not going to experience it after seeing the result of it. And they said, you cannot even compare the intensity of your emotions, of your understanding of life, of the colors that you see, of the brightness that you see, of the darkness you can see. The whole life as if compressed. And if you go through it, then everyday life seems empty, seems unemotional. Just those simple things which you say, go for a walk, smell the grass, look around and see many smiling faces, just say hello, good morning. So these are not things which touch me anymore, because they're gloomy, they're too dark. There is the brightness, and I'm ready to pay for it. Certainly, I'm saying all this to you not to attract your attention to trying that. Don't do it, because I want, as a person who refers a little to medicine, I can say we never know. In our genes, there can be a part which predisposes us to alcohol or to drugs. And you can live all your life having no idea that you can become an addict. And sometimes one time is enough to become an addict. So that is why never ever try this way. And trust me, trust my words, it's not the way. But I'm telling you this on the other purpose. Yeah, exciting emotions. Yeah. Yeah, mushrooms and LSD. By the way, about mushrooms, it's a separate talk. We can talk about it one day, because it's a disputable question. Some people say that mushrooms are okay. I have never tried, and I'm not going to. But some experience sound attractive about that. Yeah, and this way is not stable. Why I'm telling you all this? Just not to distract you at once by the next things which I'm going to share with you about our shadow. for you to understand that not only danger, not only something very heavy, something very destroying is there, because it is there. You can say, I will never accept it, I will never believe it, but it doesn't deny the fact that it is there. It's up to you to decide if you want to know it about yourself, or you to prefer to live in blindness and lose part of your life. So for you not to be so frightened or disappointed, at first I preferred to show you the attractive side of this unknown part of our psyche, because all this excitement not as superficial passion or quick gratification of something fun, just fun, but something deeper and much more subtle is also there in our shadow. That is why sometimes people being intoxicated made great discoveries. It's not, again, the example to follow, but it can explain why it happens, because absolutely other state of consciousness works. Now we are going to the more difficult part, heavier part, darker part. But before that, let's digest some information. So each of you has heard that part of our psyche is unconscious, yeah? Unconsciousness, if it's a noun, and it is unconscious if we use the adjective. It was Freud who introduced this idea. What is hidden there? What do you know about that? About this part of our unconscious mind. Unconscious means that we are not conscious of it. We don't know it. We do not understand it. Why? It was the discovery, the most important discovery of the 20th century, by the way. I don't remember what was the third, because the scientists, all the scientists of different sciences, say that there were three main discoveries in the world. The first by Darwin, his evolution. The second, Freud, and Copernic, who found these astrophysics laws. So three main discoveries which changed the history of mankind. And Freud is among those, though I have mentioned not once that he was ridiculed, he was mocked at, but nevertheless, it belongs to him, the discovery of unconscious in our mind. Yeah. Yeah, so boring life, but boring life we get when we don't know our shadow, when we do not want to integrate it. So again, I'm jumping ahead, and I will tell you that the main target of our development and of our conversation is to understand that the shadow should be integrated into conscious mind, because without shadow, our life is boring. We can be right, we can be exemplary, we can be, I don't know, angels on earth, but we're not angels. We cannot be, because the more angels we are, more hidden parts exist in our shadow. That is why all the extremities, they are bad. If the person pretends to be good, maybe to himself, I don't say that he tells lies, maybe he believes sincerely in it, but he does everything to be good. It means that he is so much afraid of his shadow. God forbid. And if one day this shadow comes out, this is the end of personality. And if we do not integrate our shadow inside, our life is absolutely boring, monotonous, tedious, unbearable. It's like a computer program, daily routine, nothing happens. And we live as a soldier in this algorithm of being good, being right, no sins, nothing bad. So coming back to the question, how do you understand unconscious mind? What is there? Why is it unconscious? You heard something, I'm sure, because every person of the 20th and 21st century, and this is sometimes ridiculous that people mock at Freud, but everyone uses his knowledge. Because you hear two people who are not psychologists, who are maybe even not very well educated, but they easily say, oh, I did it unconsciously, or it's probably in my unconscious mind, or it was just Freudian slip of the tongue. So people use these terms, they forgot that somebody had to be the pioneer to introduce them. So now, before we go to our shadow, and this is Jungian conception, we should somehow come up with the idea of unconscious mind. So each of you write anything what you think suits the definition of unconscious mind. What is there? I can give you a hint. If you are keeping silent, I can give you a hint. What is the main, unfortunately, I don't like this fact, I struggle with it, but what is the main association with Freud? If you're not a psychologist, who was Freud? What was his favorite topic? Yes, we cannot control it, or at least if we do not try to, we can, in a way, Marina, in a way, not completely, certainly, but we can find the way, and this is what we are going to do, if not today, next time, because this is a long topic and very deep topic. If you're capable to catch it, believe me, you're quite talented people with philosophical minds. And if you, in the long run, catch it, believe me, your life will be different. I promise. Here, I can promise it to you easily. If you get the conception. One thing I can promise for sure, listen to me, hear it. If you get this conception, your life will never be boring. No matter if you're successful or not, you will never be bored, because the whole adventure will be inside you. And believe me, you will be more successful, because the ability to build up the career, to go up on this ladder, social ladder, is also in the shadow. But we will go there step by step. So, no, Marina, Freud is not associated with hypnosis. It's because you watched the film. Yeah, and because you know probably more about Freud than the others. I asked about banal associations of, let's say, laymen, ordinary people. When they hear Freud, oh, Nastya, you're so mild. Intimate life. Intimate life, it's okay. The first association with Freud that he talked only about sex. Yeah, and he's blamed for that he saw everywhere in each manifestation of ourselves only sex. But it's false. He didn't say that. He just underlined that. Our sexual drives, do you know the word drive? By the way, in Russian, it will be the same, because this is a psychological term which is not translated. We just derived it. I mean, Russian psychology derived, and German and all the other schools, they took it from English. Drive, we say. So our sexual drives, and not only, this is only the one thing, is hidden in unconscious. That is why the problems in this territory, within this territory of sexual activity, can influence so strongly and indirectly, they can influence our life. Because if we are not developed harmoniously in the sexual sphere, if we repressed it, and many women and men as well, but especially women, are inclined to repress it, thinking, okay, I can live without sex. It's not the most important thing. Yes, I agree. It's not the most important thing. I know there are more important things than sex, but sex is something indispensable for our health. And it's not just because it's good for your skin or for your feeling better. First of all, for our psyche. Because everything that is repressed, do you know the word repressed? Do you know it? Repressed means submitted, annihilated, denied. But in psychology, they use the word repressed. Everything that is repressed, at one moment can do with us whatever it wants. Yes, Irina, it looks like encounter like another person who another person, yeah, you meant another person who manages our behavior. Yes, and you are right, it can look like that, and it can make a person crazy or to think that he's crazy, but it's just ignorance. The thing I told you before, that the most percentage of our calamities and disasters, they go from ignorance. Because if you believe so strongly that you're so good, that you don't have any drives or instinct desires, and you are pure soul, you're almost an angel, and one day you realize that you're capable of being aggressive, you're capable of, I don't know, of hatred, of some negative, deep negative feelings, it can kill your psyche because you're not ready to accept it. That is why not to give complete control to this unconscious mind, which will control us if we do not accept it. We should know it. We should get acquainted with it. That is why the title of our today's conversation is, are you acquainted with your shadow? This is the thing we are trying to do. So the first thing I've mentioned, sexual drive. Yeah, there will be some streams when we will speak more thoroughly about sex and its influence on our life and how to be fulfilled in sex, what role which gender plays, because these roles are still different, and the mission. Women have even a mission in their sexual life. We will talk more thoroughly about that, because you know that one of my subject line, my professional direction is that I'm a sexologist as well. By the way, I wanted to invite you on Friday in Instagram. I will have a guest. Do you know whom? This is the person who is, I found him. Oh, I was looking for him because not everyone wants to speak about it. He's Russian. He lives in Moscow. And it took me some efforts to find him, but he is one of the few. There is a new profession in the United States. In Russia, people are afraid of such words even. But thanks God, we're becoming step by step more civilized. So there is a new profession which is called sex therapist. I hope that my channel will not be closed for that, because it's official profession in the United States. sex therapist. So it's not sexologist who works with your mind, but this is the person who works with the body, with the damaged body. So, and he will speak with me on my Instagram channel in our rubrics meeting of two psychologists, because he's psychologist in a way, but he's practical sexologist. And he will tell us, I will ask him some provocative questions, by the way, I'm ready. And he's ready for that. He doesn't mind. So what he does, how he treats women, and about his successful cases, I will ask him about that. So on Friday at 8, I think it will be. So you're welcome to my Instagram channel, and you will see in reality, physically. No, not Palev, Marina, not Palev. Maybe one day I will invite Palev, but Palev is a very honored doctor, yeah, who has this very deep, even Soviet education. This man is quite modern one. He traveled a lot. He got his education in Europe. So, but he shares a lot with Palev. But one day, Marina, good idea. I will invite Palev as well. Palev is a star. He goes to the TV channels. I don't know if he likes the idea of coming to my Instagram, but who knows? At least he has subscribed to me on his own initiative. I wasn't looking for him. I mean, Palev. So, by the way, great doctor. If you have any questions on or some unknown issues in your sexual life, don't hesitate. Find the lectures of Professor Palev. Don't be shocked by his manner of speaking. He's quite sarcastic sometimes, ironical. He speaks about some very, let's say for us, shameful things in a very easy and relaxed manner, but he's great. He's a great scientist. Maybe he's the best in Russia. So that is why if you're interested in this sphere, women, girls, do it. Educate yourself. And we will come also back here on my channel, because I think it's important to talk about it. But today we're still speaking about shadow, and one of the major drives of the shadow is sexual drive, the drive which we can be ashamed of. Why women? Why did Freud investigate women? Why were mostly women? Not only, by the way, he had very famous cases with males, but why females addressed to him? Why did he become so popular, extremely popular in Europe due to women? Though he had quite strict ethics. Marina, you made me laugh with your question. But you gave me a good idea. So why? Why women and sex? Why unconscious mind and sex? Oh, sex and murder. I missed Tim's remark, but not murder, Tim, but you're very close. We will talk. This is the next point, because we're not going to talk about sex because it requires separate meetings and not one. We just mentioned sex, and I want you to clarify why it was so extremely important for women, and why was it a striking point? Why women were ready to pay enormous money to Freud. They made him rich, women, and he was supported by such noble aristocratic families of Europe who took care of him, who provided him with safe trip from Nazi Germany to England, which was practically impossible because Freud was a Jewish person. And you know, the Nazi did their best to exterminate as quickly as possible all Jewish people. But Freud managed, and he lived a long life, though he was very ill by the end of it. But he managed, he succeeded just because he had unbelievable support by the noblest aristocracy of Europe, and mostly by women, and there were princes among those. Girls, boys. So why women? You're very cynical, I think, in this issue. No, for nowadays, yes, women may make the marketing. It's true, but then it wasn't like that. Women stayed at home. So women could choose two ways. Most of them chose the first one, becoming a good wife, a mother of somebody's children, and just serving the man. The second attitude was a free position, which wasn't popular. You were blamed by society, but you had kind of interesting life. You had many lovers. You met many men, but you were not accepted by society because it was Victorian period in Europe, where only your purification, the pure thoughts, the saint look and righteousness, which we have mentioned, only those things were accepted by society. But not sexual desires. According to Victorian epoch, women didn't have sexual desires. It was the sphere of man. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Would any one of you believe that just 150 years ago, women were deprived of this right to have any sexual desire? Only men could have those. Yes, the topic was closed, and not only closed, if this teenager or young woman showed any interest to this topic, which now we consider quite natural, I hope, because I know cases. Sometimes I hear the stories of my clients, and I can't believe my ears that we are living in the 21st century and still there is such an ignorance. But parents should worry if the teenager doesn't show any interest. Maybe he hides or she hides, it's okay. It's normal reaction. But if the teenager doesn't show any interest to sex, it's an alarm. Something is going wrong with the development. Something is repressed very strongly, because at 16, at 14, now earlier, especially boys, they cannot stand it. It's normal. It's the development of hormones. If you listen to Palev, you will understand many things. So, but certainly in Europe, it was forbidden, and Freud was the first person who raised it up. And not only from the point of view that it is allowed, a woman can, and more than that, she should have a sexual desire. Besides, if those desires are repressed, it means that this woman sooner or later will have a neurosis, because the neurosis very often is just the reflection of sexual conflict. Many problems in our psyche are covered with this veil. Under the veil, we have sexual problem. Yes, Irina, they are interested in emotions, but with these emotions, they substitute many basic desires. Emotions cannot deprive a woman. Emotions are not enough. Yeah, for women it's more difficult to come into sexual contact, or the way they say intercourse, without feelings. Women need feelings in most cases, but it doesn't mean that it's bad if a woman can go into such intercourse without emotions. It doesn't mean that she's bad or is not pure. She can, for example, she can do it without love, without this romantic, idealized love. So for men, it was always easier, not for all of them, by the way. Some men are very romantic, but it's more exception. Typically, men follow their desires, and when we talk about sex in details, I will explain you why. Sometimes men have more desires to a woman who they do not respect much, and they can love a woman and have no sexual desires, and it's a bit perversion, but it can come across quickly. Oh, Marina, really? Some women think like that. That is why I need to have to make these streams. After we finish these topics with shadow, we will organize sexual desires only men have. Yeah. Okay, nonsense, but I agree with you. I know it's truth, but every time I come across this, I feel very sorrowful that it's the reality. So let's leave sex alone. So the idea is that every thought that we have repressed lives there, and desire lives in the shadow, and repressed sexual desires, where can they lead a person? Any idea? Just imagine that you are boiling the soup, yeah, on your gas stove, and you opened this pan with a cup, and you closed it very firmly. No space is left. What will happen when the water boils? What will happen with the cap, and what will happen with the pan if you don't leave any hollow, any space? Helen, it's not true. There is no difference. For women and for men, sex can be just sex, and it can be the manifestation of the real intimacy. There is no big difference. Just women are more, not ignorant, but they were more neglected, and they're afraid of accepting their sexuality, and in this way they kill themselves, because a woman cannot be a real woman if she doesn't develop her sexuality, because this is her magic power. And just to develop the brain or being a good housewife, it will not help, because this nature is inexhaustible in woman. Have you ever noticed that a woman can function sexually till her last day, but the man cannot? So this is the answer to the question. Female's nature is richer in sexuality, and this is a stereotype. A woman can have sex without emotions as much as the man. Some women can, some women cannot. Some men can. There are men who cannot have sex without emotions. But it's not because they are men or those are women. Our bodies are capable for that. And there is no limitation, only here limitations. All our limitations are here and in our upbringing, in these morals. Be a good girl or nobody will marry you. Be a virgin till 30, yeah? Because if your husband to be finds out that you're not a virgin, oh my God, he will leave you. But it was true for 19th century. Now we're living in the 21st. And I think it's quite natural for people who are up to 30 to be sexually developed and sometimes to experiment before the marriage. It would be quite nice to understand your partner, and you cannot love the person at once. Okay. Tim, you're funny. Oh, you're so funny. Yeah. Read what he wrote. Sex without feelings, like vodka without beer. Yeah, but it can be, and it's better vodka without beer, I think, or maybe it's better without vodka at all. Better never drink vodka. For brain, among all those strong drinks, if you ever want to drink something strong, drink cognac, brandy, or something else. It's up to you. Tastes differ, but if you want something strong, anything, please, but not vodka. Vodka ruins the brain at once. This is proven by neurosciences. So just put apart. Vodka can be taken only when you feel ill and with some medicine, and there are some quick methods of recovering and disinfection. When you got poisoned or something like that, vodka can help, but only as a medicine. If you want for enjoyment, choose some other products, not vodka. Okay, it will explode. Yes, Nastinka, my dear girl, how clever you are. My God. How you have developed. So, explode our pan with the cap will explode. No soup, nothing, just the destroying of our psyche. In this way, people can go mad. So if they do not sublimate, if they do not fulfill each part of their life with something, for example, if you have lack of sex, certainly you can substitute it a little by big sport activity, by moving here and there. So because sometimes we have such periods of life, then sport should necessarily be there, some physical activity, but it's just a little compensation for developed body, for developed psyche, for women especially, more than for men, my dear girls. You don't know probably that, but it's not the man's prerogative, yeah. They are easy to do it. They like it more. They can say that they love it. Yeah, but women feel ashamed. Oh no, I don't care. Okay, only love. You cannot imagine how much time I spend with my clients to convince them that they have the right to experiment when they're between, when they're between relations. They finished one relations and they want to get married at once. And I beg them, I say, give a chance, live your life a little, calm down, understand what you want, what a person you would like to meet. But it doesn't mean that all this period you should be a nun. Do you know the word nun? N-U-N. Monk in female. Yeah, you shouldn't be a nun. Go to the parties, get acquainted. If you feel some attraction to a man and if you have any sexual desires, go on. Don't do stupid things, certainly. Don't go with someone who is suspicious. But if you like the person, you shouldn't necessarily run into the marriage. It's so stupid to get married to everyone to whom you have sexual attraction. So, and sometimes it's very difficult to convince those ladies, and they are not young girls. Oh, you mean in the past, Helen, or now? You're so funny. Oh, oh my God. Scary drink, yeah. A women could, if you speak, Helen, about the past, yes, it was one of females' fear to get pregnant. Yeah, it was a big, big fear. Now, it is ridiculous to be afraid of that because we have developed medicine and it should be taught at school how to use condoms, how to use pills, and it's necessary even in your family life because the pregnancy should be desirable. It shouldn't just happen one day. If you live in the modern society, you are protected from any part. Just a bit of hygiene and it can be easily protected. So, but enough for sex. What are the other drives? Oh my God, when I look at the watch, I always feel a bit frustrated because I cannot believe. And we started in time today. Okay, just before I let you go, each of you write any drives which also, to your mind, are hidden in your subconscious or unconscious mind, to your mind. So sexual drive. Tim wrote the word murder. I would say that this is the wrong word, but I think he's in the right direction. Because there is no such a drive as desire to kill. Desire to kill can appear as the consequence, but what is the initial drive? Yes, this is for the previous question. Catastrophe, expansion. Yeah, and by the way, this perverted structure of the maniacs, sexual maniacs, the beginning of this illness is there in repression, in strong repression in the childhood of those sexual desires. When they are roughly repressed and the person is punished for having sexual desire, he can become a pervert, a maniac, and it can hardly be treated, by the way. But I'm giving you the extreme. Certainly, if just you were told by your mother that be a good girl, don't sleep with the guy until he proposes you. Oh, it's so funny. It's just only when he proposes you, only when you agree to be married. My God, but before getting married, we should understand that we have compatibility. Because if we get married, we plan to spend a lot of time, if not the rest of our life, with this person. Yes, Jim. Aggressiveness, Marina, thank you very much. So write this word, my friends. This is your home task, to think about aggressiveness. Where is your aggressiveness? If you need this aggressiveness, or it's so good that it is repressed, because we're only approaching to Jung. It was Freud who said that there are two major drives. There are many drives as hunger, thirst, balance, the desire of have a balanced ground, many physiological inclinations, but they're not dangerous. Though we know cases when people, when they're hungry for 20 days, they sometimes can eat the other person. But it's just the extremity, and maybe not each of us will do it, but we never know till we go there. It's stupid to say sitting in the comfortable kitchen, having the full fridge. Oh, if I get into the desert and if I stay there for 20 days not eating anything, okay, I would better die that I would ever eat, I don't know, a cockroach or something. Yeah, it's easy to speak when you're sitting in the comfortable chair. But when you are in this jungle, in this desert, only then you can show if you can stand it or you would eat whatever, even maybe something which now you would go vomiting if you imagine that you are eating it, but then you will do it. So now I want to say it once again, my last thought. Yeah. um, Tim, why are you scolding here? Don't use rude words here. You feel quite free. And by the way, remember what you have written. Next time we will talk with you about that, about your aggressiveness to this. This is, Tim has shown right now in a joking way a bit of aggressiveness because he used the rude word to the wonderful word diplomacy. We will speak about that. And the task to you to find out if you have any signs of aggressiveness or you repressed it so much that you're always nice. You're always nice. You cannot say no to anyone. And then you shouldn't necessarily tell me that. Just remember when you wanted to say no, but you couldn't. What did you feel to this person who was in the beginning maybe quite the authority for you, quite a person whom you admired, but you said once, you couldn't say once no, second time no, third time no. What did you start feeling? So we will stop here because our time is over. So your task, your home task, those who are good students, because I'm surprised you don't write anything about the home task. I'm waiting for your comments sometimes for 3 days. My God, I understand that you're busy, my friends. But let's make it a two-way traffic. It's not a problem to spend 5 minutes and write a comment. And not just thank you for the good video. It's okay if you are too busy, because there are 2 or 3 people who write comments to every video, and I appreciate it greatly. But do it as a necessary task for yourself. You can think of something I have mentioned, and you can share maybe not your experience. If you are shy to do it, you are not obliged. You can share the experience of your relatives, of your classmates, schoolmates, university mates, colleagues. So the task is to think about aggressiveness and why. I will tell you next time that in each of you, in me, and in all kind people, there is aggressiveness in unconsciousness. And why is it so? Can it be good for us? Can it serve us? Or can it kill us? So we will talk about it, and again about the potential of the shadow. If you are interested during this week, you can read something about that. If you don't have time, if it's enough for you to communicate in those streams, it's also okay. I think it's quite enough. So see on Tuesday those who attend Russian streams. See on Friday those who want to participate in my meeting with sex therapist. And maybe, I don't know yet, because I promised about Jordan Peterson, the continuation. People wrote me a lot. So maybe on Saturday I will have the second lecture in Russian about Jordan Peterson. Yeah. Okay, so I'm saying goodbye to you. Sorry, I cannot read, Tim. I will read it later because already I have a ring at my door. So goodbye, thank you. See you soon.